Tomorrow night, Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, Giannis and the Bucks take on the Beard, the Deers and the Beard in Houston. And then after that, you've got the Pistons, Jalen's Pistons, going up against the Lakers. A pretty even matchup. That's at 10:30 Wednesday night. And at any time, anywhere, you can stream on ESPN Plus the documentary series More Than an Athlete, where LeBron James and his friends tell you about their rise. Come on, get up! Tomorrow morning, they will show you what Zion did, and they will tell you what the Chargers plan to do in Foxborough against Tom Brady and the Patriots. That is all on Get Up every morning at 8 a.m. Tune in tomorrow. Right now, you are tuned in to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, one of our signature segments that we've had for years and years and years, that it just gives us endless joy. It's time for Soft Move or Boss Move. Well, this one needs no explanation. Laughter last night, you know, the confetti's raining down and everyone's celebrating and they're handing trophies around and you're just so happy that things get a little crazy, as they did for Christian Wilkins after a huge game. Watch him, number 42. He gives Dabo a wet willy. They double wet willy Dabo Sweeney on national television. Jalen Rose, giving your coach a wet willy while he's doing an interview on national television.
Soft move.
Soft move or boss
Soft move. Soft move. Like, first off, when you ball the way they ball, the coach allows you some leeway.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, and well-deserved. I don't want to be a guy that over-exaggerates young people celebrating post-game. However, licking your hand and then sticking it in his ear, that's just nasty.
So, Jalen, you know I've got young
rolling.
children. You know I've got young children, right? I've got 2 3-year-olds and a 5-year-old. And if there's just one thing I can get through their head, if there's one thing I can imprint in their moral values and their psyche, is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would want have done unto you. And if you don't want someone else's saliva in your ear, then don't put it in someone else's ear. That's all I have to say about that. The golden rule is the only thing you need to know, and that is for Christian Wilkins.
When did this start? Where did that come from? I hadn't really heard of this term or been exposed to this. This is clearly a soft move, and it's clearly cultural. It's something that looks like they picked up once they got to college.
Not cultural. It is universal. Moving on. Klay Thompson was just asked a simple question: what did you like overall about the Warriors? And he kind of took it and took a pivot and went somewhere else with it. Let's listen to Klay.
What do you like overall?
What do I like?
Yeah.
Life, food, my dog, my family, my friends, my home, my health. That's what I'm thankful for. That's what I like. My hobbies, movies, video games. And being able to do this for a living is pretty special.
So he went on to not just list what he likes about the Warriors, but everything he likes in general, movies and video games included. Jalen Rose, is this a soft move, a boss move, or maybe something else?
This is the ultimate boss move by Klay, because here's what ends up happening. There's the score of the game and there's the game of life. And sometimes when you're sitting there and people have microphones and they have tape recorders and people are trying to get sound bites from you to talk about sports, sometimes as much as you want to win, that can't be the only thing that drives you 24/7, 365. It's just not realistic. I know people feel like all Michael Jordan did was play basketball. Well, I saw Michael Jordan do a lot of things to have fun outside of his sport, okay? So, like, I appreciated Klay humanizing himself with a respectful and responsible, disciplined answer.
Well, I appreciate your response to that, and that was very articulate and intelligent, but I think that this is neither a soft move or a boss move. This, to me, looks like a failed test. That's just what it looks like to me. It's like, you're asking me about what now? Let me just list everything that I've ever done in my life. Like, that seems like a failed test. Moving on. We're all familiar with the Brazilian soccer player Neymar. And Neymar, one thing we know about him is he's very good at soccer. Another thing we know about him, he really cares about his hair. He's famous for having different hairstyles and switching up his hairstyles. And let's just take a look at his latest, something that he's been doing lately. Dreadlocks. Now, those are dreadlocks, but however, they are not his dreadlocks. He got dreadlock extensions. Wearing dreadlock extensions, Jalen Rose, soft move or boss move?
This is a tough one because women do this, and I've heard for a really long time, it's my hair because I bought it.
Okay.
So if he's happy with it and he's rocking it, I gotta say it's a boss move.
You do? Do you though? You know what? As someone who has had dreadlocks for over
I don't
a
like
decade
the way
in
it
his life,
looks. That's something different. I know. I don't like the
say,
way it looks. Now that's
I
something
feel like
different.
there's something. I've never had dreadlocks, obviously, but like I know a little bit about them, and there's some sort of like spirituality to it, and you grow your hair out, and like you keep it, and like there's a lot more to it than just like you go to the store and buy it. Like I feel like part of having dreadlocks is the fact that you're committed to the dreadlock lifestyle and you've grown it out.
You're officially becoming old man Jacoby right now.
Oh, come on.
Like it literally just happened right in front of my very eyes.
Oh, come on. You're coming after me now?
I'm serious.
This guy bought some dreadlocks in the store and you're coming after me now? Okay. Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I'm saying, like, I don't like the way that style looks. However, he's rocking his extensions that he bought. So therefore, I can't act like that ain't a boss move.
Okay. That's fine. Moving on. So, Cody Parkey, poor Cody Parkey, still in the news. We all know what happened on Sunday evening when he hit not just one but two uprights and lost the game for the Bears and won the game for the Eagles. Well, Eagles fans were very appreciative of this kick that went off the upright. That was actually blocked. So what did they do? They went on Venmo, something I'm sure you're not familiar with, but I have it. And you can basically pay anybody that you can find money. Cody Parkey just happened to have a Venmo account. And Eagles fans, who may or may not have wagered on the game, were sending him money via Venmo. They sent him so much money via Venmo that he had to shut down his account, and other people started popping up with new Cody Parkey accounts hoping to cash in on the wave. Sending money to Cody Parkey after he won your team the game, soft move or boss move?
David Jacoby once taught me that you can be mean if you're funny. This is actually both, which makes it a boss move. Because
Absolutely
in theory,
right.
you're showing that it's not about the money. It's about the fact that when you missed, I cashed in on whatever level of finance that I live at. Boss move.
Boss move. And one thing you don't know about Venmo is you can write a little note with the money. Like it says, like, what was this for? So I'm sure the notes were really funny too. It's like, oh, I got $3 from some guy in Philly. And Philly's like, thanks so much. I actually won $3,000, but here's the thing. So now that you're on my side and you think this is a boss move, if this were to happen to, say, the Lions. I know this is a weird hypothetical, like the Lions would have to make the playoffs and then be in the game at the end of the game. So this is really a reach. I understand that. But if this were to happen to the Lions, how much money would you send the kicker that won the Lions the game?
Well, if the Lions win the Super Bowl and a kicker is the deciding factor, oh man, it's like his favorite restaurant in the state of Michigan, the tab is going to always be covered.
Okay. Moving on. Last week, me and one of our brothers, a friend of the show, Marcus Spears, we evaluated this new hairstyle from Usher, right? You'll see it here. And he's got the fur in the hot weather for some reason, but the hair is interesting. And not to be one-upped, an artist that we're both very familiar with, Young Jock, well, he saw that and he raised Usher blue hair. Young Jock with the blue hair. Soft move or boss move?
Is that an actual picture?
Yes, that's an actual picture.
Actual Caesar with the hair on top of it?
Yes, that is actual hair.
It's going down.
It's going down. I like the hair. I'm saying it's a boss move.
Going down.
I'm saying it's a boss move.
Yeah,
I like the hair.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the color in the hair.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it either.
I just
you're
can't
not
get
mad
away
at
with
it. So, Jalen, you're very well known for your hairstyle. Perhaps you should, I don't know, adopt this for your look. What do you think? That looks pretty good. That doesn't look bad.
I like
We gonna see that? Are we gonna see that on Countdown tomorrow night?
Nah, not gonna be able to do it.
When we come back, there's something that we have not discussed that we absolutely must discuss, and that is what Lil Wayne wore during the halftime show. That's next on Jalen Jacoby. What's the worst haircut you've ever had?
There was a time where I had a bowl haircut and a tail in the back that wouldn't grow long, and I got it blonde.
Wait. You had a bowl haircut, so it was just like a straight line, no fade, and in the back, sort of JaVale McGee style, you attempted to grow a tail, and then just dye the tail blonde?
At least was able to grow downward.
Yeah.
Mine didn't grow downward.
So you had like a little puff?
Yes.
And you dyed it blonde?
Yes.
So you go to a salon, and they put tinfoil around the back. Like, how does the process work? Did you sit underneath the heat lamp?
I don't remember it being that sophisticated.
Did they spray some lemon juice on it? Clorox bleach?
Yeah, just getting it blonde. To your point, though, it only lasted like a day. Got a baldy real quick.
Is that the real story of the Fab Five all having bald heads?
Yes.
Coming to you live from the Seaport District of Manhattan, specifically Pier 17, and brought to you by Heineken. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, what a game it was last night in the College Football Championship. It was just such an exciting contest, but one of the things the announcers kept bringing up, and one thing that we have to acknowledge, is that a lot of these players are coming back. Let's take a quick look at the notable skill position players coming back for Clemson. Trevor Lawrence, the star quarterback, is a freshman. Etienne, sophomore. Higgins, sophomore. Rogers, sophomore. Ross, freshman. Just look at that. And then on the other side of the ball, you also have Alabama, who will be returning. Tua, Harris, Judy, Smith. We are going to see these teams go against each other for at least 1 or 2 years to come. Does that bother you, or does that excite you about the upcoming seasons in college football?
Well, as a Michigan Wolverine alum, I would love to interrupt these proceedings that everybody just feels like it's going to be catered to Alabama and Clemson over the next couple of years. Y'all should probably pay attention. We've been doing a really good job of recruiting, and our team is returning a lot of stout players and will be ranked in the top 4 next year also. Let me just put that on wax.
The other
thing I want to say.
Wait. I want to make sure. Hit the brakes. I'm sorry. There must be something wrong with my earpiece. I just want to did you say something about the Michigan Wolverines ranking at the end of the year?
Next season, the Michigan Wolverines will be in the college football playoff and likely facing one of these squads. So don't just hand it to them just yet is what I'm saying. Also, for Clemson, it's not just that they're returning players. They're returning all of the skilled people that just killed Alabama in the championship game. All 3 of the receivers making big plays. Ross is born in Alabama. Etienne had 3 touchdowns. Lawrence, the first true freshman to win it since Jamel Holloway, mid-'80s, when they was running with Oklahoma. Okay, so I understand the greatness of Nick Saban, and I see the roster of people coming back for Alabama is also. But each week represents a different challenge when you play in the SEC. So it's a lot of football still remaining to be played.
Well, overshadowed by all of the great action on the field during the game was the outfit that Lil Wayne wore during the halftime performance. And I'm a big fan of Lil Wayne's music, but not a huge fan of this look. I don't really know what's going on there. So the staff got together, and we tried to figure out exactly what he was going for. So Jalen, we're going to pose some questions to you. What does Lil Wayne look like? First, we have this option. A kid standing on another kid's shoulders trying to pass as Erykah Badu, okay? Then we have this option. A really bad shoplifter. And then we have my daughter alone in my wife's closet for 10 minutes. And then finally, Uncle Pimp Wizard. Which do you think Lil Wayne looks most like of all those options?
The kid in the Erykah Badu, that's a really funny one, whoever came up with that one.
Okay.
That has to be the winner. But also, what the public has to realize is athletes, celebrities, you know when it's lights, camera, action time. So don't look at what people are wearing as though it's like a look. They're wearing costumes. That's how this goes. Costumes.
You were not wearing a costume. You thought that was fly. Don't lie to the people. You thought that was fly. And then Lil Wayne, man, you know what? Staff, I just want to say something to the staff. If you buy me that outfit, I will wear it on this program for one segment. Coming up next on Jalen and Jacoby, we have a story about a crime in Brazil that you absolutely have to hear to believe. I'm so excited to break it all down for you right after this. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, listen up, because like Biggie Smalls, I've got a story to tell. And it starts off bad, but just follow me on it, okay? There is a young lady in Brazil, and her name's Pollyanna, and she's sitting on a bench, just minding her own business. She's looking at her cell phone, like we all do. You sit on the bench, you look at your cell phone. And while Pollyanna was sitting on that bench, there was a gentleman that went and sat down next to her, and he just kind of sat a little too close and made her a little uncomfortable. And Pollyanna just felt a certain way about it. So she took that cell phone and she started to put it in her pocket. It was at that moment when the gentleman sitting next to her gestured to something that was shaped like a gun in his pocket and demanded that she hand over the cell phone. Now, you've chronicled before that you've been in similar situations, and in that moment, you just don't know how to act. So what did Pollyanna do? She evaluated the thing that was shaped like a gun in the pocket, and she was like, I don't think that's a real gun. And so what did Pollyanna do? Little did this man who attempted to rob Pollyanna know Pollyanna is a professional MMA artist that fights in the UFC. So Pollyanna stood up, punched him in the face, kicked him in the face, and put him in a choke lock, and then called the authorities and held him in the lock until the authorities came. Now I just want to show you just a little example of the results of this incident that you can see here. On the left, obviously, is Pollyanna. On the right is the gentleman that attempted to rob her. Now, there are a lot of lessons here. One thing I want to draw from this is, first of all, don't try to commit a crime, because this is probably what you deserve. Second of all, for everyone out there that ever thinks about doing anything disrespectful or physical or anything to another human being, you cannot judge a book by its cover, especially in today's day and age when there are so many MMA gyms out there. So if you think you're in a bar and someone disrespects you or steps on your feet or whatever, no matter how big or small they are, just remember they could have what Pollyanna had in her in them. What was your takeaway from this story?
I like this story. I'm glad it's something that Dana White shared. And now for just media consumption, as well as our program, now we got to get her to be a guest on the show and interview her about this.
I would love that. Pollyanna Viana now has 2 new fans. There is not going to be a single fight during which I will not cheer for her to win. Shout to Pollyanna. And again, I want this not just be a lesson for would-be robbers. This should be a lesson for all human beings walking the earth. You do not know what a stranger has gone through, what a stranger is trained to do, what a stranger's day was like. You do not know, so you're best just minding your own business and keeping to yourself. Now, some other people, but let me just tell you something about me and Jalen. There's a lot of things that we don't see eye to eye on. We had a lot of life experiences that were very different for the two of us, but we do have a lot in common. We both love good food. We both love family. We both love the game of basketball. We both love hip-hop with a passion, and we also both love sneakers. But we're both a little old school. Jordan 1s, Adidas, Pumas, old Nikes, just kind of simple, basic sneakers. Well, over the course of time, some things have changed. Jalen's about to show you his Pumas right here. He's living the Puma life. We all know that. Over the course of time, some things have changed a little bit, and now it's not just the Pumas and the Adidas and the Nikes and the Diodoras that are on the feet of the children. Designers have gotten involved. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada. And I know you will wear some of these expensive sneakers, but the designers have taken it too far. Let's just take a look at some of these new designs that they have here, because let's take a look. This is a Louis Vuitton sneaker that will cost you $1,200. Look at that. I will say my opinion is that these sneakers are trash. I would not wear these sneakers for free. And then look at these Gucci sneakers, Jalen Rose. Those are $1,600 sneakers. $1,600 sneakers right there, Jalen Rose. Now, I want to ask you a question. This is a very serious question. Am I washed up and old and just hating on something new? Because I love mumble rap. I love new music, but I cannot rock with these new $2,000 sneakers. Am I just old and out of touch?
I think
or
that's
is this
a classic
objectively disgusting
example of really purchasing the name. I can't front. The first pair wasn't horrible, but the last couple continued to get worse. And so when you are a storied brand and you understand that some people are just going to buy it for the name, you're able to take risks like this. And however, I agree with you. You got to evaluate it though. I ain't just paying for the name and rocking it because it's the new hot thing. We don't have to necessarily be old and washed up, Jacoby, if you don't want to follow every trend. It's okay. That's what makes you an OG.
Just like the skinny jeans, you can miss me with these $2,000 designer sneakers that look like Thanos is like designed them. You can miss me with all of that. Let us know if you think we're old and washed up. You can find us on social media. You can always subscribe to our podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also watch Jalen Rose on Countdown tomorrow at 7 p.m. on ESPN. And we'll be back tomorrow with a special co-host who may or may not be Ryan Russillo.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
You're far too kind.